Welcome back to J-Rock Soccer and Basketball Sessions, the Westwolf podcast. Guys, I really appreciate you guys joining. Please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy the podcast, please click that like button. It helps me push out my video even more. Guys, we're going to talk about the Lakers blowout win versus the Sacramento Kings, 117-92. Guys, they got a blowout versus an NBA team. I was shocked, genuinely shocked, but we got it done. So we're going to get into what we saw that was good in that game. We're going to get into some things that we think that we still need to correct, and I'm going to give Frank Vogel credit. Yes, I said it, me, J.D. Jackson, the host of the Westwolf podcast. Going to give Vogel his credit. I'm always talking about things I think he can do better or change, so I got to give him credit when credit is due. So we'll do all of that right here on the Westwolf podcast. Guys, remember, if you just like the audio version, go check me out on the Westwolf podcast on all the major podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Castbox, and much more. But right here on the YouTube video version, let's get right into and dive into this game. All right, look, I know we all want to talk about Russell Westbrook. We will start with him. It was kind of a tale of two halves, right? So the first half, he was not good. Let's just look. Russell Westbrook had 4 turnovers in the first half. He ended the game with 4 turnovers. Now, DJ can't catch. That was one of his turnovers. Look, I get all of that, but he largely, he wasn't, he didn't have a good first half. We know that. But he turned it on in the second half. He ended his game 9 of 21 from the field. 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal. He was a plus 12 on the night. Guys, Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook scored, I think, 20 points in that third quarter. Russell Westbrook just spearheading this comeback alongside Anthony Davis as well. And we will get into Anthony Davis a little bit later. But Russell Westbrook's third quarter was absolutely phenomenal. He has become Mr. Third Quarter for the Los Angeles Lakers, in my opinion. He's just turned it on in the second half. Like I said, he had a rough first half, but he was really good getting to his spots, hitting his cotton shot, getting to the rim, finding players. You saw him give the IC gesture after he made the beautiful spin move pass to the corner that resulted in a 3. Got the crowd involved. It was just a really great second half by Russell Westbrook, and that's what I come away with. I remember how he finished that game, not how he began it. But of course, we all know that this isn't an aberration. Russell Westbrook, he is magnificent. He is elite. And he's put together a string of really great games in probably the last 10, which we've all told everyone in Laker Nation, just wait. The benefit will greatly outweigh what you see right now in this first few games. So he played really great. I hate to say it, he played Russell Westbrook. He 23, 6, and 5, and a steal. And I'm saying Russell Westbrook was Russell Westbrook. That's how great he is. His standard is amazing. It's really high. But this is what we expect of him. And I'm not saying it's a good thing that even me as a Westbrook fan, I'm like, hey, he played good. He played great. That's what I expect. Nonetheless, that's where he's at in his career. We expect greatness, and haters use that to diminish his player, diminish how great he is, because the standard is so high. So that is Russell Westbrook's game in a nutshell. Tale of two halves. Not good in the first half. Outstanding in the second half. Finding his teammates. That's the part I love the most. He had the offense humming. It was just humming. Shoes were wide open everywhere. He was passing them open. He was getting to the rim. And I want to talk about Anthony Davis next, and then I have to get into a couple of role players that I want to make sure that I speak about, because they were the unsung heroes. Look, I'm going to get into Dwight Howard and Malik Monk a little bit later, and Wayne Ellington. But let's move to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, guys, as much heat as he gets in the media and on social media, look, you guys know, I tweet it all the time. I say it on the podcast all the time. I do believe that Anthony Davis needs to live more in the paint than what he does at his size. I really do. However, that jumper was stroking yesterday. Versus the Kings, it was real smooth. I don't mind. I'm not the person that doesn't want him to shoot any. I don't mind Anthony Davis shooting a couple of jumpers here and there to keep the defense honest, so that he can get to the rim, so he can get. Sometimes he can dribble around defenders that are guarding him at their sizes. These basketball players are giant human beings. However, I don't mind him shooting a couple to keep the defense honest. And he was really efficient. 12 of 22 from the field. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, only 1 turnover. Look, Anthony Davis was absolutely outstanding. His efficiency has been very, very good. He's playing through being sick. I think he hurt his thumb in that game as well. He just had it wrapped up. He played through that. He worries me every time he hits the ground. I think he's gonna like break into a million pieces. I give him a lot of heat for shooting too many jumpers as well. I don't mind him shooting a few. I do think he needs to stick it in the paint. And guys, he was taking it to the paint. He was catching in the paint from guards and was finishing. He was posting up and trying to finish. He did take some jumpers. I thought for the most part he was efficient in his jumpers, so I had no problem with it. And what I liked the most is I tweeted it out at the end of the third quarter that Anthony Davis had been ultra efficient and aggressive, and I want him to stay aggressive to the rim. And I believe the very next play, he got the ball in the beginning of the fourth quarter. He went straight to the basket for it and won. And I was so proud and happy for Anthony Davis in that moment that's what the Lakers need of him going forward. Don't settle for the jumper if you don't have to. You're bigger and faster than everybody else, and you're more skilled. For most of the people he's going to play, there's a Giannis out there. Obviously, Giannis is Giannis. But for the most part, on any given night, you're just better than the other person. Live in the paint, man. Live in there. And I thought he did that versus the Sacramento Kings, and I was very happy about that. And you're not going to hear me preference, well, it was the Kings. Look, all these NBA teams, they have professional NBA basketball players on them. I'm not saying there isn't a difference between the Suns and the Kings, but these are all professional basketball players. Like, they're really great at it. Any of these basketball players on the Kings or the Rockets or the Thunder or anyone out there, if you park them in your local gym, they're whooping everybody. Everyone getting whooped by any of those players on any of those teams. That's how great NBA basketball players are. So that's what I wanted to say about Anthony Davis. He was absolutely tremendous. Guys, now, Dwight Howard, to me, he was the MVP of this game. My goodness. Look, I know he only had 12 points, but he had 13 rebounds, 5 of them offensive. I mean, he was just everywhere. Everywhere. He also had 2 blocks and 2 steals. Dwight Howard, guys, he was so good. So good. How many minutes he played? 35 minutes. Can we get him as a starting center? If we're going to start a traditional center, can we please start Dwight Howard? No more DJ. I just don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. He can stay in the locker room for all I care. I just want. But he needs to be on the bench. Dwight Howard was absolutely, his hustle, his tenacity, his attention to detail, calling out switches. Monk did the same thing. He was calling out switches, calling out drops, just doing an amazing job. Block shots, hustle, communicating with his point guard. He was just really, really good in this game. And he didn't cause more problems than create solutions. To me, when you start DJ's creating more problems than the fact that he might get a block every now and then. I think, guys, no more DJ. Now, he started with DeAndre Jordan. He played 4 minutes. I appreciate his ability to recognize DJ was not the one and to insert Dwight Howard for 35 minutes. I greatly appreciate the recognition. And despite what he probably wanted to do, because he just likes DJ, just like I think he just likes Avery Bradley, he did the right thing, and he made the switch, and he stuck with it. With DJ only playing 4 minutes and Dwight Howard playing 35. I have to give him credit for that. Thank you so much, Frank Vogel. Now, I'm going to need you to hang up Avery Bradley. Now, I know Avery Bradley's hurt. I hope he has a speedy recovery. I really do. But I hope when he returns, I don't think DJ and Bradley together, I said in last podcast, is good. I think he wants to pay Bradley because he's defensive-minded. But I want to give someone I have followed for years now on social media, and we've conversed back and forth. His name is Jonathan Evans. I want to give him credit. because I think that he's right. We saw the Lakers actually try to play defense for a half, and it was absolutely incredible. The third and fourth quarter. Did you see it? What did I say last podcast? I said at least try. You just have to try. They're too athletic and too skilled to be this bad at defense. That's what I said. They played defense in the third quarter, and everybody was like, what is this? Oh, you mean we can blow a team out if we play defense? Because our offense is already going to score. You got Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony. Oh, we're going to score points. That's not a problem at all. You just have to play some defense so the other team doesn't outscore you. That's all you have to do. That's it. They did it. And I want to give my guy Jonathan Evans credit. They did it with Malik Monk on the floor, with Carmelo Anthony on the floor, with Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, Dwight Howard. That's what they did it with. Now, Dwight Howard, I would say we could say he's defensive-minded and he's detail-oriented as far as rebounding and defense, things like that. But Malik Monk and Carmelo Anthony, no one's associating them with outstanding defense at all. It's just never happened. It's not going to happen. However, they worked hard. They communicated. You can see everyone on the floor, from Russell Westbrook to Anthony Davis to Dwight Howard to Malik Monk to Carmelo Anthony, talking, speaking. You can hear them talking on the broadcast, trying, dropping, sliding, moving, switching, hustling, closing out. My guy Jonathan Evans said, "That's fine. They can play hard, but lean into your offensive players." Jonathan Evans, my brother, you were right. You were right. Just lean into the offense. And they just have to try on defense. Play your offensive player. Look, I don't want to see no more DJ. Hang him up. I don't want to see Avery Bradley unless we just absolutely... He's not as bad as DJ in my opinion. If we don't have to, lean into those offensive players. With Dwight Howard. Then LeBron James returns, you got LeBron James. Austin Reeves, he does both. He hustles on defense, and he provides you a stroke. Like, I know you have to play, like I said, you can play Bradley. That gives you 8. But I think that's right. And Ellington, that gives you 9. You have to lean into those players. Ellington was another one. Out there hustling on defense, working hard, but also going 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Malik Monk, 6 of 10 from the three-point line. I mean, everyone just open. It was just beautiful basketball, guys. That third quarter was just... That team can go on a 10-game win streak, okay? And be a top 3 seed in the West and make some noise in the playoffs, especially when you add LeBron James to the mix. That team we saw in that third quarter, that's the team that can do that. That's what I wanted to see. I called it the pod before. I got to see it. I'm excited. We need that, but longer than just the third quarter. I don't want to see that first half again. I don't want to see it. We need that team. Lean into your offensive players. Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, Westbrook, Ellington, Melo, Monk, Reeves. Lean into your offensive players. Work hard on defense. That is what we need. Then you got to add LeBron James. You can play Avery Bradley in minutes if you need to. Not with DJ. I don't want to see him with DJ. But I just can't stress how important Dwight Howard, Ellington, and Monk were to this game. And Monk, my goodness, once he get on fire, that's the thing. He can be inconsistent, but my goodness, when he sees a couple go in, there is nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. He's just gonna he makes shots sometimes, and I'm like, bro, why you even shoot that? Doesn't matter. Went in. Don't care. That's just how, like they say, man. He's just, what did Dwight Howard call a microwave Monk? I know people get upset because, that's been a nickname for an NBA player before. Like, I get it, but man, he can definitely warm up. He's been absolutely outstanding. Melo, he struggled from three-point line. He only shot 2 shots, and he was 0 of 2. But he's 4-9 from field with 14 points, a rebound, assist, and a steal. Guys, largely just all I can think of is that third quarter and like half of the fourth quarter. It was just really good, and I'm about to go back and watch it again. I think I'll make some clips of the defense and maybe of Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, and I'll also put that video out as well. But they were absolutely outstanding. I can't wait to play the Clippers. I believe we play them on Friday. I'm looking forward to it to see if we can see that again. Guys, we play like this and then we add LeBron James back into the lineup. I'm looking. This is what we wanted to see. All of us. This is what we've been asking for. We saw it. They blew out a team they're supposed to blow out. People can say I shouldn't be excited about that all they want. Well, I'm excited about that because good teams take care of teams they're supposed to. They blew out a team they were supposed to take care of. So, yes, I'm going to be happy about that, especially because it came from hustle and tenacity and communication. I just love the fact that that's how it came. Now, then the offense followed. Gosh, I'm a coach. And what coaches always say? Take care of the defensive end, the rest take care of itself. Well, they took care of the defensive end, the rest took care of itself. So I'm very, very excited about that. Guys, I want to talk about, we talked about DJ. He don't need to play anymore. What exactly in the world is going on with Tucker? I'll be honest. When Tucker came back from injury, Horton Tucker came back from injury, his first 2 or 3 games, I was like, whew, this young kid right here, he can hoop. And then it was LeBron James got back in the lineup. And then I don't know what happened. I'm trying to figure out Lakers fans listen to the podcast. Tell me, I didn't watch Talon Horton Tucker before this season. I'm trying to figure out if the first 3 games were an aberration and what we've seen the last, 6, 7 games is the norm, or is it the opposite? Is what we've seen the last 6 or 7 is an aberration, and the first 3 is what's normal for his career going in through last year as well. I can't really tell. He was one of 3. Look, his finishing package, the way he can finish around the rim, it's beautiful. But largely, I just think he hasn't been good. And I'm trying to figure out which one is it. Because I'm at the point where I'm like, we need to start Monk or somebody else. Or else, I don't know, someone else in the starting lineup, because I just don't think he's been good at all for a while now. And he's a young player. I don't want to kind of put him in a box because he's so young. He's still learning how to play, and I think people probably forget that about young players. What is he, 20 years old, I believe. So let's just, So let's just give him time. I don't know. I wouldn't start him. He's 21, sorry. I wouldn't start Tucker. But I don't want to put him in a box and say this is who he is, because he's just 21 years old. He's still learning how to play the game. And I don't know if that's coincidence. I'm not blaming LeBron James, by the way. I'm just saying it's like LeBron James got back into the lineup after his first Talon Horton Tucker's first 3 games, and he was playing great. And then he I don't know what happened after that. But that's just one other thing I wanted to point out and bring up. Let's just watch how he plays. Let's see who starts on Friday. And see how that is. But guys, basically, look, I'm ending this podcast with they're actually playing some freaking defense. I loved it in the third quarter. That's a team that can make some noise in the Western Conference. That's some teams that can win some games and some series in the Western Conference playoffs. That's what we need, especially once you add LeBron James to it. It's beautiful to see. Tail of 2 halves for Russell Westbrook, but he got together, which I tweeted out. I said Russell Westbrook is obviously frustrated. You could tell he was frustrated early on. But I was a little bit confused because I didn't think the Kings' defense was intricate or complicated in any way, but he was very frustrated, with ball. So what I mean, not with the ref, I know he's done that early in games, but he never gets frustrated with the ball game that early in the game. But I said, part of my tweet was, but he'll figure it out by third quarter. He always does, and that's exactly what he did. Anthony Davis has been ultra efficient over his last 10 games. I'm very happy about that. That's kind of want to take that away. And then the role players showed up. The bench, man, just outstanding. Melo, 14 points. Dwight Howard, 12 points. Monk, 22 points. Reeves, he had a 3. Rondo had 4 points. Just absolutely outstanding. Kent Bazemore, he had a 3-pointer late. The bench just filling it up. Very happy about that. I will see you all Friday versus Clippers. Battle of Los Angeles. That should be a lot of fun. But guys, remember, if you enjoyed the podcast, please hit that like button and please hit the subscribe button. Guys, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. Even if you're not going to come back, just hit it. I appreciate it so much. But I'm hoping to see you all come back and just watch the podcast regularly. And remember, if you want the audio podcast, if you want to listen to it at work or in class, no, not in class, don't do it in class. But while you're running errands, something like that, you can hit me and hit the subscribe button on all the major podcast platforms. So whichever one you use, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Castbox, much more, just hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys so much for listening to the Westwolf Podcast. I am your host, J.D. Jackson. As always, you can find me on Twitter, Russell Westbrook gets the chip at Always and Forever Art, and on YouTube at J-Rock Soccer and Basketball Sessions. As always, until next time,